Hey you guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to share what's in my everyday makeup bag. And I don't know about you guys, but I always love watching these kinds of videos. I'm just that person. If somebody pulls out a makeup item from their bag, I'm kind of peering in there like, what else you got going on in there? I'm just always curious about what products people are using. I don't know, maybe it's the product junkie in me, and I just think it really gives you an idea of people's ride or die makeup items. So I always think these videos are fun. Hopefully you guys do too. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have two makeup bags in front of me, but I'm going to go more into detail about what's in this bag because this is more of my everyday bag. I kind of pull from this bigger bag and select the items that I'm going to reach for on a daily basis. But let me just show you this big bag briefly. This is the bag I always recommend to people. If you're looking for a good travel makeup bag, this Flower Beauty bag is so good. First of all, look how cute it is. I'm obsessed with the pattern on here. I got this, I think it was actually free with a Flower Beauty purchase. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were recently on sale. I'll try to link this down below if it's still available. But yeah, this bag is just my favorite. But I have a ton of stuff in here. Up top here, I keep my brushes. I have a mix of Sigma and Morphe brushes in here, some Eco tools, and then some of my most frequently used palettes are in this compartment with some mascaras. And I have some blushes, my setting powder, this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I love this cream, but I probably wouldn't repurchase it. It's just so expensive. I got this in one of my Sephora favorites boxes, and it's great underneath makeup, but for the price of a full size, it's just, I don't know if it's worth it, but I keep that in there because sometimes I like to reach for it on special occasions. And then I have setting powders, some frequently used blushes in here, all my foundations, well not all of them, I have more makeup stored in the bag behind me, but these are my most frequently used foundations. And then down here I have some lip products that I reach for pretty frequently, some nail things. And then this little guy is my everyday makeup bag that I carry in my purse, and it also travels with me throughout my house depending on where I'm getting ready at that day. This bag is from Bare Minerals. I think I got this back in a set way back when. It was in one of those birthday or anniversary sets. There's two compartments, a smaller one and a larger one. There's no really method to my madness here. I just kind of pack everything in here. But on the one side, we'll start with, I have this sponge here. This is my Eco Tool sponge. I love this beauty sponge, especially for the fact that when it's wet, it gets super squishy and really soft, and I just like how pliable it is. It just makes it so easy to apply foundation, and I love this straight edge. So I also use it for packing on powder just to kind of like cut out the edge of my shadow. So yeah, this is a great sponge. I always have that on me. And then before I start applying makeup, I always start with a lip balm. I'm currently using the Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm. I love this as well. I like that balm because it really adheres to your lips, if that makes sense. I feel like some balms just slide off, but that really like stays put and it really hydrates, so I love that. And then if I need some extra hydration, I'll pack on the First Aid Beauty Ultra Lip Repair. This is just a little more heavy duty than the Drunk Elephant, so I love this guy. That is always with me. And then this powder, this is by Hourglass. This is in the shade Dim Light. This is one of their ambient lighting powders. I'll show you what this looks like, but swatching these powders don't even do them justice, but this is more of like, almost like a light beigey powder. I use this as a setting powder or a finishing powder, and I've said this so many times, but these powders literally make any foundation look good. Like, you can smooth it over your face and it just blends everything in. It almost makes even if my face is really textured that day, if I'm having a lot of dryness, it somehow like makes my flakiness disappear. It's the only powder that does that, and it just, I don't know, it just makes your face look flawless. I highly recommend these powders. Luckily, I know they're expensive, but they sell those little guys now too, so I think they're a great option. The big ones last forever. I've had this for like at least 6 months and I barely made a dent, but yeah, these powders are just the best. I always have that on me. And then the bronzer that lives in here is this Lila Beauty bronzer. I don't even know what this is called. I think this is, yeah, there's Sun Kiss bronzer. This is like my holy grail bronzer. This is so good. This has coconut oil in it, so it really blends in really seamlessly on the skin. It never looks patchy. It's the perfect bronzy color. It gives a little bit of a sheen. It's just so good. But this lives in my everyday makeup bag because it's just a no-fail bronzer, regardless of how pale I am or even if I'm tanner. It just always matches my skin tone so well, and I never have to worry about it being patchy. Even if my lighting's off in the room, if I'm doing my makeup, it just always blends in so well. So I highly recommend that bronzer. It's so good. And then I have a primer. I happen to have this Becca First Light priming filter in here. This primer is one of my favorites, and I love that it comes in a travel size. This came with their blurring setting powder, and I think it was like a $25 set. I'll try and link that if it's still available on Ulta, but I think it's a great buy, and I just love this little size for a makeup bag. And then I have some brushes here. I'll just go through these really quick. These are probably my most used brushes right now, which is why they're in this bag. But I have some eyeshadow brushes and then these bigger powder brushes. But I have this Eco Tools All Over Powder Brush. I love this for bronzer or for a finishing powder. I love this with the Hourglass powder. Eco Tools just has some of the softest brushes. They're just so good. And then I have this e.l.f. complexion brush. I love this because of the shape. It's like a big brush, but it's still narrow. So it's great for contouring the face. This is just a great brush. Anytime I see e.l.f. brushes, I'm like, how are they still only like $3? They're just so good. They're some of the best brushes out there for the money. They're just amazing. And then I have this IT Cosmetics. I think this is their blending crease brush. This is just really soft and it blends eyeshadow so seamlessly. This is my favorite brush for a transition color. It's just a no-fail, like easy brush to use. I just love that. And then I have a couple Morphe brushes here. These are all from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe set. These are my most used. And this big fluffy brush, when I first saw this set, I'm like, this is one brush I'm never going to use. It's way too big, but this is amazing for setting the lid. It just is like the perfect size to blend everything in the end. And then I also use it in the beginning to start off with like a lid color just to set the lid. And then this JH43 brush is great for smudging out the lower lash line. I love that. And then this itty bitty brush, this is the JH42. I love this for highlighting the brow bone. It's just that perfect shape. I also use this for cutting the crease because it's like super tiny and it just allows me to get into my like thin lids really easily. I love her set, highly recommend that set. Some of her brushes are a little scratchy and I did notice some hairs that fell off initially, but now I don't really have any problems with them, but there are definitely a few that are on the scratchier side. But just the way they diffuse eyeshadow is just so good. They're just like no-fail brushes, so I love that set. And then another e.l.f. brush, this is the small tapered brush. I like this for underneath eyes, setting concealer with setting powder, and also even for a highlight or blush color. It's just the perfect size. So that is always in my bag. And then this Sigma brush. Love this for smudging out the eye. This is the Sigma Domed Utility Brush. This is the E34. This is great, like I said, for smudging the lower lash line or even for the outer corner. This is like my savior when it comes to like my outer crease. Sometimes I'll end up with like kind of, you know, patchy eyeshadow. This just really cleans everything up. I'll dab a little bit into my darkest eyeshadow shade, whatever one I'm wearing that day, and I just like deepen the outer V, and it just makes it so easy just to clean up your eye look. So I love that brush. So those are probably my most used brushes. And then getting in to the other side of my bag, oh my gosh, this is kind of a mess over here. The first thing I have in here is this Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder. I talked about this before, but oh my gosh, his powders are so good, and I think it's just because they blend so easily and the color is just perfect for a contour shade. It's not too orangey, it's not too ashy, it's just right in the middle. It just looks like a natural color. But this palette is great because it gives you a highlight as well. This is like a nice natural highlight, and then here's your medium contour shade. His larger palette is $44 for just the contour shade, but I would say get the smaller one. This is 25 bucks, and this has lasted me forever. But I use this to contour my nose, my cheeks, even like sometimes like my outer jawline, and this just has lasted me so long. So this really goes a long way. I think it's a great buy. I love that powder. And then I usually just try and keep one foundation in here so I don't have too many options. But the foundation I'm currently using for every day is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. All these CC creams, both the original formula, the matte, and the illumination version, they're just so effortless. They're just so easy to swipe on in the morning if you're in a rush. They're full coverage, but they blend so easily. Sometimes I even skip concealer when I use this because the coverage is just so good. And they're just perfect for a makeup bag because the packaging is nice and compact. It's not a glass bottle. And yeah, this is just like a winner in my eyes. I just love this foundation so much. And then speaking of SPF, let's talk about this Josie Maran. This is a new favorite thanks to you guys. This is the Argan Daily Moisturizer with an SPF of 47. I asked you guys if you guys could recommend a moisturizer that sits well on your makeup and that has a high SPF in it. And a lot of you raved about this and I've been loving this. Let me just show you how this looks like on my hand. So it has like a nude peach tint to it. It keeps my skin nice and dewy and hydrated. It doesn't pill at all. There's no white cast because it has that tint to it. And I don't know, I feel like my skin is on the paler side right now, and with my skin tone it blends in really nicely, so I really feel like this could work with a lot of different skin tones. Oh, it's just so nice. Did you see that shine and that dewiness? It's just an extra boost of moisturization that you get underneath your foundation, and I just love how nicely it wears throughout the day. So thank you guys are the best. Awesome recommendation. That has been living in my makeup bag. I love that. And then I have a ColourPop concealer. I don't even know what shade this is. Oh, I don't know why I want to say a 4. It says light neutral, I think. But I love this mainly as an eyelid primer. I go between this and the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer, but this is just like quick and easy, and it's nice. It's almost like drying in a way, which I like for my lid because I can have greasy lids. I don't like it underneath my eye, but as an eye primer, it's so good. And then I have 2 palettes in here. So the eyeshadow palette I've been using a lot for every day is this CoverGirl. This is their Chocoholic palette. And this is great because it has a bunch of different shades in here that are really neutral. It has this like deeper maroon in here. But the 2 shades I use the most are probably these second 2. I use this to even out the lid. And then this color right here as a transition color, this like medium brown. But I love this palette. This is a great buy at the drugstore. The shadows blend so nicely. They're really pigmented. But yeah, I've been using that a ton. And then for blush, I've been loving the Jouer blush, what is this called? The Rose Gold Blush Duo. There's 2 shades in here, which is why this lives in my everyday bag, because I can really mix them up depending on what I'm going for. This one shade, it doesn't look like much in the pan, but it actually is really pigmented, so I can deepen up my blush look if I want. And just for like an everyday color, this baby pink is gorgeous. But they just give such a pretty natural flush to the cheeks. I just love this palette. It's just like an easy blush to reach for. I love that palette. And then getting down to the bottom here, oh, I have 2 lip products in here. This has been my go-to lip combo. First I have the Buxom Full-On Lip Cream in the shade Pink Champagne. This is like a baby pink, kind of on the mauvier side, but not quite as mauvey as the shade Dolly. And it's just so universal. It tops well over so many different nude shades, pink shades, even maybe a red you could get away with. It's just a really light, natural looking pink. I'll do a little swatch here so you guys can see how it looks. But it's just so pretty. It's slightly more pink than, say, White Russian, but like I said, not as dark as Dolly. And yeah, it's just a great, nice, everyday color. And then the lip color that I've been wearing almost on a daily basis is this Urban Decay Vice lipstick. This is in the shade Native, but this is one of my favorite nude pinks right now. I just love it, and the formula is amazing. This is one of their cream formulas. It's just really super smooth going on, and it lasts a long time, but the color is just like, oh, it's like my perfect nude. I love it so much. It's like not too light where it washes you out, but it just adds like enough color. But I love this on its own or topped with that Buxom lip gloss. It's just like my go-to. So that has been living in my makeup bag and also my purse. I just love that color so much. And then I have the Becca Soft Blurring Powder. This is my go-to setting powder recently. I switched between this and the Cover FX powder, but this came with that First Light Becca Travel Size Primer. Like I said, it's a great set, great buy. But this powder is so good just because it's so finely milled and it just blends in just so easily. It sinks into your skin. It has kind of a peachy toned color to it, which at first I'm like, oh gosh, is this going to blend into my skin? But it does, and it just kind of brightens your skin, and it just makes your skin look like you have a filter on. It's just so flawless. I think this is so underrated. I feel like not a lot of people talk about that powder, but that is great, and I just love the size. It just fits my makeup bag really well, so that lives in here. And then I have the Makeup Revolution Concealer. I love this. This almost can act as a foundation for me just because it's so emollient and silky going on. You can blend it in really nicely. This has been my savior for my melasma recently. I'm having a lot more dark spots pop up since I've been pregnant, so this has been great for covering up those darker spots. And like I said, I just love how easily it blends in. So I love that concealer. And then another palette that is like my go-to, mainly for the transition color in here. I know, I think it's kind of crazy to buy a whole palette for one single color, but I have to be honest, I really only have been using this color. The Chocolate Brown too is great. great. They're all great shades, but this is the color that I've been reaching for like on the daily. It's just a great transition shade because it's just warm enough, but not too warm where it like makes my eyes look red. Sometimes warm shadows can just make my eyes look bloodshot, but it's just that no fail transition shade. And I love it on a daily basis because it's just enough. It's all I need. I don't usually wear any other colors with it, and it just lifts my eyes. It makes me look more awake, and yeah, just my go-to. If I'm like in a rush, I just reach for that color. I just love it. And again, I love that compact size. It fits in my makeup bag so well. And then I have this First Aid Beauty Triple Eye Remedy. This is in a fair medium. I usually put this on before foundation or concealer, and I love that it has like a cooling effect. So it really depuffs my eyes. It also has caffeine in it, so that really helps to like pull away any swelling you have from around your eyes, and it really does just like make your eyes look more awake and bright. And concealer just sits so nicely on top of it. I feel like so many eye creams can make concealer just slide around, but that actually makes concealer like almost adhere to your eye but still keeps your under eye hydrated, if that makes sense. And yeah, your concealer just goes on nice and smooth with it, so that is great. I love that. And then, all right, we're getting down to the wire here. A couple more products. I have Glossier's Boy Brow. I use this all the time, but I have to be honest, I like the Essence what is that called? I don't even know. I think it's called Make Me Brow. The regular Essence, it's like $2.99. That is like my go-to for a brow gel, but I've just been using this up. But I don't know, the Essence one just thickens my brows a little bit better than the Boy Brow does. I feel like the Glossier one is almost just, I don't know, it just sets my brows, but it doesn't really do anything more than that. But yeah, the Essence one is a great buy, so I love that. And then this eyeliner, this Makeup Revolution, this is the Renaissance Flick eyeliner. This is just super pigmented. I love the felt tip to it. It's just nice and effortless when you're applying eyeliner on the go. It lasts all day. It's just a great buy. I just love this so much. This is an awesome dupe for the Stila Stay All Day eyeliner that I also love, but this is just something I frequently repurchase because of the price. So yeah, that lives in my makeup bag. And then the last two products, I have been loving this Sigma. This is the gel eyeliner. This is the Wicked one. Sometimes I'll just like do like a tiny little outer corner. I'll just dip a little brush in here, and this really just sets well. It lasts all day. But unlike the Makeup Revolution, this is just a little bit more pigmented. So if I want something a little bit more intense, sometimes I'll top the Makeup Revolution with this Sigma. But yeah, this is just great. It just lasts all day. It's a great formula. I've had it for a long time and it hasn't dried out, so I love that. And then last but not least, if I need some extra volume to my brows, I'll use the Anastasia Brow Powder. I don't usually use this on an everyday basis, but I don't know if my brows are feeling kind of like wonky or if they just need some more definition, I'll add this brow powder. And some days if I'm lazy, I'll use eyeshadow on my brows, but nothing lasts like this brow powder does. It's just so good. Anastasia, she just knows brow products. I don't know, it's just so good. And this is another thing that I don't think I've ever had to repurchase this. I have probably had this for, I want to say, over 2 years, which is kind of embarrassing to say. It's probably past its expiration date, but I don't know. I feel like your brows are hygienic enough, right? But yeah, this is just a great brow powder. One of my like OGs, ride or dies, love that. But that is it. That is everything that's in my everyday makeup bag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was really fun. I just love talking about just those like ride or die, holy grail products, those products that you reach for every day. And I'd love to know yours. What's your like, I don't know, what's the product that lives in your makeup bag? I feel like there's probably the It Cosmetics for me. I always add like a new CC cream. I feel like I'm always repurchasing that. Also too, what's your favorite go-to makeup bag? I feel like this Bare Minerals one has really lasted, but it's getting kind of just like dingy and old, so I'm kind of on the hunt for a newer bag. I need something, I don't know, something that's small with a lot of compartments. So let me know if you found anything recently that you've really liked. But like I said, that Flower Beauty one is awesome. If you guys are looking for a big like travel friendly makeup bag, that one is like my go-to. So I highly recommend that one. And yeah, I'd love to know what you guys use. I'd love to know your everyday makeup products. And yeah, I always love hearing from you guys. So share your comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.